And so, a lot of you guys might know about Kwesta's leaked split sheet for his song Spirit featuring American rapper Wale, and that is because they were leaked right here on this channel, and the video has almost about 100,000 views. And when I made that video, there was something that caught the attention of a lot of people, and that was the fact that amongst the people that were getting royalties for that song included the Brenda Fassie estate and Spirit Chasers. But the Brenda Fassie part was not so surprising because she was sampled in that song. However, Spirit Chasers was also getting a cut, and it wasn't just a cut, it was in fact the biggest cut, coming at around 66.6%, which was way bigger than Kwesta's portion of just 8.35%, matching his featured artist Wale, with Makwa at about 12.525% and Brenda Fassie got just about 4%. And so at the time when I reported the video, the assumption was that Makwa had sampled Spirit Chasers because they do have a song that sounds somehow similar. But it kinda turned out that Makwa said in an interview that he didn't sample Spirit Chasers, and therefore there was no need to cut them anything. But regardless, Spirit Chasers ended up getting the majority of the publishing royalties, and I think that was a big mistake.
So Spirit, it was a remake because I didn't use sample yabo original. So ngenga replayer ipiano yabo twing.
The answer itself lies in the fact that Makwa didn't sample them, but rather remade. You see, remakes aren't necessarily legal, but in this case, the part that was remade was the chord progression, and chord progressions are not copyrightable, because if we do allow people to copyright certain chord progressions, then we're going to at some point run out of chord progressions. But in some cases, the legal position of chord progressions is not as clear and depends on judges, who at a lot of times don't even know anything about music. Melodies can be copyrighted and some can arise from chord progressions. And if the chord progression is a distinctive element of the work, then it can be regarded as copyrightable. In this case, it was the same chord progression, but it was kind of slowed down, and every other part of the songs are very different, with the only similarity just being the chord progression, which is played in a different tempo. My own personal opinion of this would be that the chord progression in this case is not copyrightable, because that would mean that nobody else would essentially be able to play that chord progression commercially without infringing on Spirit Chasers' rights, which is unfair since chord progressions are regarded public domain. However, that was just my own personal view. But the saddest part of this is that even if my theory turns out to be true, they probably won't get back the money because it was their own negligence. The only civil law remedy in this case would be unjustified enrichment. And this is a scenario where an individual is unjustly enriched at the expense of another individual, and in this case the law would impose an obligation upon the recipient to make a restitution. However, this kind of remedy largely is based on an excusable mistake, meaning that they would have to convince the court that giving Spirit Chasers their royalties was an excusable mistake. But if Spirit Chasers were the one that insisted on getting paid, then obviously they can be forced to pay it back. But either way, man, you tell me what you think about it. Do you think this chord progression in this case is actually copyrightable? This can go both ways, but you guys tell me what you think about it.